Revival House Network.
Good evening, friends. Welcome to another installment of Revival House Presents Campfire Tales. On this episode, we're going to dive back into an old story, a fan favorite, way back from the commentary of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. We did it so long ago, I couldn't even tell you when it was. It was an early one with Zach. One of your first, I want to say.
It was before Troll Zach took over.
Definitely before Troll Zach took over. And there was a recounting of a time when I was just a wee lad and I slept over at a friend's house. It's a story I hope we've all lived. Maybe not exactly my story to a T, but you all know what it's like to feel awkward in somebody else's home. You all know how you feel even to this day when you have to shit in somebody's bathroom that isn't your own. It's not something you enjoy doing. But on this fateful night, things took a drastic turn. It was extra bad, let's just say that. It wasn't just having to take a dump at a Kmart. It was the equivalent of taking a dump at the Kmart and then smearing your fecal matter all over the stall walls and probably rubbing it on your face like Gigi Allen. And even then, it's still not as bad because, why? You don't know the people that own that Kmart. You aren't best friends with the people that run that Kmart. So, full disclosure here, I obviously don't give a shit about my own dignity, for I am going to replay and recount this story once again for you all. Submitted for your approval of the Revival House Society. I call this tale the tale of the Diarrhea Dilemma. Oh man, that's a lot better than my story. I tell you about the time I shit all over my friend's house.
That's what I did too, yeah. I was leaning up against the house.
I know this is totally Freddy related. My childhood best friend, we were friends for years. We grew up we were in the same neighborhood. I'd go over his house all the time for sleepovers. He had the coolest video games. You know, we hung out in the basement. That's where all his games and everything were. Anyway, all this kind of came to a halt in the 7th grade. Because I went over, I had moved. I no longer lived in this neighborhood. My mom dropped me off to, spend the night at his house. I hadn't seen him in forever. And he made us dinner that night. I blame him. He made us like huevos rancheros or something like that. It just didn't sit well with me, but whatever. For some reason, we were sleeping in the living room. Like we were hanging out in there watching. I don't remember what we were doing, but whatever. I was sleeping on the fold out bed, the couch. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, I woke up. Isn't it great how our body wakes us up when we have to shit real bad instead of shitting ourselves? Mm-hmm. It's great. God bless it. But it failed me this time. So I woke up like, oh my God. And I had to go so bad. It was going to be explosive. And I was a real shy kid. And his parents made me feel really awkward because they were just really unwelcoming and awkward. And I didn't want to use the bathroom. I didn't want to use the bathroom on the main floor because it was one of those bathrooms that had a door leading into the master bedroom as well. Because it's like, man, I didn't want to go in there and blow up their fucking bathroom because I didn't want them to hear me. And worse, I didn't want the father or something to come in the bathroom through his bedroom and see me blowing up his fucking bathroom. But I would have made it had I went to that bathroom because it was close enough, right? Yeah. But I didn't want to do it. So I took the gamble and I ran downstairs in the basement where there was a bathroom. Oh man, it was just too far. So I get to that bathroom and it was one of those things where I got to the toilet and as soon as I started pulling my pants down, I blew shit everywhere. It didn't even I had my pants halfway pulled down, halfway past my ass crack and I just didn't make it, man. The second I started to hunch my back, I just blew diarrhea shit all over my fucking pants, all over the porcelain of the toilet, all over the fucking walls, the sides of the walls, the back of the walls. It was like a shotgun blast of shit. And it was everywhere. And here's the worst part. Don't ask me why. I don't call it denial or call it only being a quarter awake or something. I felt like maybe I was still kind of in denial because I was I don't know what it was, but for some reason I didn't clean it up. This was what? No, dude, what? I think I was just overwhelmed with how much liquid diarrhea shit there was everywhere. I am not exaggerating when I say it was all over my clothes, all over the toilet, and all over the walls and all over the carpet. It was everywhere. It was projectile.
Oh my God.
And because I blame, I don't know, man. It ricocheted more than you think ricocheted. Shit would ricochet. But
you're probably half asleep.
No, anyway, so I didn't clean it up. Mind you, this is in the middle of the night. Everybody's asleep in the house. So the perfect crime ensues, right? So I'm like, oh my God, I didn't clean it up. I decided to play total stupid to it, and I went upstairs and I tiptoed through the house, and I went into my friend's bedroom. He was sleeping in the living room too, but I went to his bedroom very quietly, and I took off my shitty clothes. I balled them up and I threw them behind his dresser.
What clothes did you put on?
And then I rooted through his drawers and stole an outfit of his. And so the next morning, I think my thinking was that, okay, I'm going to get away with this because my mom's going to pick me up in the morning. And no one will even go in the basement. My mom will come before anybody even goes into the basement, right? And I can get away. So I wake up and, because they always went to church because the next day was Sunday. And I knew that was my chance to make a break for it or something, right? That was my chance when they were, because I never went to church with them because I wasn't Catholic. And that morning, conveniently, I overhear his mom in the hallway. How come your friend never comes to church with us? It's so rude. He needs to go to church. So my friend said, my mom thinks you need to go to church with us. I'm like, I'm not Catholic. But whatever. That's fork in the road number one. So we're going to church. The plus side is the whole family's going to church. That means no one's at home to find the shit in the basement, right? No one's at home to find the dead body in the cellar.
Were you just like, oh, well, they'll find out sometime, but I'll be gone. So
exactly. That was my mentality. So, and I remember being at church, at Catholic church for the first time in my life. They made me take communion, dude. They made me.
What's that?
The body and the blood of Christ. You go up. Yeah. I mean, I'm a Christian, but I'm not Catholic. But it's funny they made me do this. But whatever. But anyway, so I'm thinking the whole time in the back of my mind, I know what's at home. I know what's at their house. So it's like I have to get out of there like ASAP. And on the way home, I was thinking about it in the back of my mind, and I figured I had more time because they were going to come home from church and we were going to all eat lunch, right? They were going to stop by and get some like fried chicken and all that stuff. I'm like, great, we're going to have lunch. That'll give some time for my mom to come over. We're going to all be in the upstairs kitchen. No one's going to go down there and see it. I thought I had gotten away with it, right? I thought. So as soon as we walked through the door, I was actually feeling pretty good about myself. And mind you, not once during the morning did my friend or his mom realize I was wearing his fucking clothes. I was wearing a pair of his khaki shorts. I never wore khakis in my life. I mean, I'm straight, for God's sakes. And I was wearing one of his dorky ass shirts. Like, seriously. No, he never said a damn thing. And so as soon as we get into the doorstep, all of a sudden I hear a voice. Mom! From the background. And I had forgotten something drastic. I had forgotten that my friend, he had a much older brother that I never saw because he was an adult. He was like in his early 20s and he worked an overnight job. So I kind of forgot he existed sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And his bedroom was in the basement. And I kind of forgot about that. His bedroom was in the basement, and I remember it was in the corner of the basement. It was built into the basement, and the wall was glass. But he had like most of the glass covered up with posters and stuff. It was actually pretty cool. But anyway, turns out he watched the whole fucking thing go down. He watched me come down.
He watched you shit?
Yeah. He watched me come down to the basement. And I don't even know. It's like somebody. It's like looking. It's like tinted windows, right? You can't see somebody in the car, but you can see me. He watched me come downstairs, go into the bathroom, and fucking shotgun blast the fuck out of that bathroom, and then walk out like I was a smooth criminal or something. And that was so embarrassing. And I immediately got banished to my friend Ben's room, and his mom made him clean it up. made him clean it up, and I was sitting in shame with like a dunce cap in his bedroom waiting for my mom to pick me up, and intermittently he would kind of come back into his room and just look at me and shake his head and say, why? Wearing banana gloves? Cleaning up my
the brother
shit.
Or your friend?
My friend. She made my friend clean up my shit. That's fucked up.
Why? So he saw you do it, leave, and then just let it sit there. He's just like, that fucking kid.
I never got all the details, man. I didn't want to look anybody in the eye for crying out loud, let alone ask questions. Let alone like defend myself. How do you know it was me? Give me the evidence. But I remember that was the most humiliated I ever felt in my life, sitting in my friend's room. I was thinking of ways that when my mom rolled up, ways I could escape out of his window, so I didn't have to walk through the house and look people in the eye, to leave. And I couldn't. I literally couldn't get out his window. It wasn't possible. I was literally thinking of everything I can do. And I remember when my mom did arrive, man, I bolted out his bedroom and just walked through the house, and I literally had my hand cupping my eyes like I'm not looking at anybody. And I just bolted out the fucking door. And of course, I never told my mom. They didn't tell my mom. It's not like they wanted to talk to her or anything. But they made me feel like shit. Honestly, they didn't do it right. Like, things happen with kids, right? It happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't have. They should already know that I'm humiliated. They shouldn't make it worse. Because I remember sitting in his room like I was on death row or something, and his mom would be in the hallway. Where's his mother? He said, overstayed is welcome. She needs to hurry. I'm like, I'm right there. I can hear everything in the room. It just made me feel worse, dude. So, but now I can empathize. So if one of my kids later on in life has a friend come over and they shit all over my house, I'm gonna be like, hey, I get it. It's okay. And I'm going to make my son clean it up. But anyway, that's enough of that. We got a movie to watch. Jeez.
That was my favorite story that you've ever told on this. This entire...
I mean, there's more stories. So, I mean, I've got a lot. Humiliate. It's not something I'm proud of, but since we already kind of touched on the shit.
I'd be proud of that.
I mean,
that's an awesome story. I mean,
since we kind of touched on the concept of diarrhea, I might as well just knock it out in one episode. I don't want to be known as talking about diarrhea in more than one episode. But what's funny though is I was so humiliated by that it ruined my friendship. He was my best friend, and I literally was so humiliated. I didn't call him. I just severed the friendship because I couldn't go over there. And then I ended up, and it's so funny. Well, I mean, I would occasionally talk to him on the phone or whatever. But what's funny is, he never, ever, ever brought it up again. Literally. If that was you, I'd never fucking let you live it. I'd always make jokes. If that was River, I'd always be coming back to that one. Remember that time you made me clean up all your diarrhea dookie all over the place? And but he never brought it up again. And you know what's even funnier? I was waiting for the phone call. Hey man, I found a ball of shitty clothes behind my dresser, festering. Never happened. Because it stank to high hell. And they found it eventually.
If he never found it, dude.
Dude, it's still there. Because his parents still live in that house. And they kept his room intact. Oh, no. They had to have found it. And it's so funny. And still to this day, I kind of got in contact with him in adulthood, too. So we've kind of messaged back and forth in the last 5 years. Very, very sporadically. And never once he's brought it up. It's so crazy. I wish that's the only part. That's the only part I wish I can bear witness to. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. All these years later, I get it again. I punk him with my shit clothes. Came back around.
What if it was so long later that they forgot about it? Didn't even.
Yeah. Well,
the mom found it and did you shit your pants and hide it?
Yeah. If it was, how long do you really think it could have hid behind there? How long?
It would have stunk, dude.
It depends. I don't know. Can you imagine though if they just knew it? Can you imagine? I hid it behind a dresser, dude, in a corner. You're not gonna look there. So he probably walked in his room. He's like, I smell shit. And I don't know what it is. It's driving me crazy. You would never look there. I wonder how long he just let it fester and smell like shit. He probably to the point where they probably aired out the room, and then it got so old that it didn't stink anymore. Maybe it might have been. It might be fossilized. It might be there. That'd be a trip.
They just got used to the smell.
I wish I could go to their house and be like, I got to look at something, guys. And go in the room and pull back the dresser.
Would you be able to now, or would you still be embarrassed to see them?
Oh, I don't care. I don't know. I'm an adult now, dude. I don't give a shit now. I'm 30 years old, fuckers.
How old how long were you friends with the guy?
Elementary.
Before that?
This is 7th grade, and I was friends with them all through elementary school and middle school. But anyway, funny stuff. I don't want to miss my favorite ass towel smacking, death scene here.
Yeah, we missed a couple scenes. We missed that bird scene.
Yeah, I know.
Weird.
I hate it. I'm ruining the commentary by telling.
And we missed the part where it said I called him on the little board. When he's walking through the house, it says Zach called on the little race board.
Well, you guys let me know. You guys let me know in the comments if you're pissed that I told you a shitty story like that instead of talking about key scenes in the movie. And I'll be sure never to do it again.
No, that's awesome, dude.